Airframe Prepware Aircraft Fuel Systems Part 2. When an aircraft is fueled from a truck or fuel farm that has not been contaminated, daily draining of strainers and sumps is combined with periodic filter changes and inspection to ensure fuel is contaminant-free. When routing a fuel line between two rigidly mounted fittings, the line should have at least one bend between such fittings. Select one means of controlling the fuel temperature on turbine-powered aircraft. Engine bleed air to a heat exchanger. Aircraft pressure fueling systems instructional procedures are normally placarded on the fuel control panel access door. How does temperature affect fuel weight? Cold fuel is heavier per gallon. Why is the capacitance fluid quantity indicating system more accurate in measuring fuel level than a mechanical type? It measures by weight instead of volume. What is the primary purpose of the crossfeed system? It allows any tank to supply fuel to any engine. What method is used on turbine-powered aircraft to determine when the condition of the fuel is approaching the danger of forming ice crystals? Fuel temperature indicator. What can be done to eliminate or minimize the microbial growth problem in an aircraft jet fuel tank? Use anti-icing and antibacterial additives. What unit would be adjusted to change the fuel pressure warning limits? Pressure-sensitive mechanism. A capacitance-type fuel quantity indicating system measures fuel in pounds. If a bladder-type fuel tank is to be left empty for an extended period of time, the inside of the tank should be coated with a film of engine oil. The vapor pressure of aviation gasoline is lower than the vapor pressure of automotive gasoline. To prevent vapor lock in fuel lines at high altitude, some aircraft are equipped with booster pumps. The fuel jettison valve must be designed to allow flight personnel to close the valve at any time, and the fuel must discharge clear of the aircraft. Microbial growth is produced by various forms of microorganisms that live and multiply in the water interfaces of jet fuels. Which of the following could result if microbial growth exists in a jet fuel tank and is not corrected? Interference with fuel flow, interference with fuel quantity indicators, and electrolytic corrosive action in a metal tank. The presence of fuel stains around a fuel nozzle would indicate clogged fuel nozzle. Pressure fueling of aircraft is usually accomplished through at least one single point connection. A probe or a series of probes is used in what kind of fuel quantity indicating system? Capacitor. What is the maximum vapor pressure allowable for the aircraft fuel? 7 psi. Number 1. A fuel pressure gauge is a differential pressure indicator. Number 2. A fuel pressure gauge indicates the pressure of the fuel entering the carburetor. Regarding the above statements, both number 1 and number 2 are true. Which of the following would be most useful to locate and troubleshoot an internal fuel leak in an aircraft fuel system? Maintenance manual diagrams and descriptions. A transducer in a fuel pressure system serves what function? Converts fluid pressure directly through a transmitter to the indicator. In an electronic type fuel quantity indicating system, the tank sensing unit is a capacitor. Which statement concerning an electronic capacitance type fuel quantity indicating system is true? It has no moving parts in the tank. When inspecting a fuel system, you should check all valves located downstream of the boost pumps with the pumps operating. When installing a rigid fuel line, 1/2 inch in diameter, at what intervals should the line be supported? 16 inches. What flight safety-related advantage does a pressure fueling system provide? Reduces the chances for fuel contamination. Entrained water in aviation turbine fuel is a hazard because of its susceptibility to freezing as it passes through the filters. What are common methods of preventing this hazard? Anti-icing fuel additives and fuel heater. The function of a fuel heater is to protect the engine fuel system from ice formation. What are the 4 general types of fuel quantity gauges? Sight glass, mechanical, electrical, and electronic. How many vents, arranged so that they are not likely to become plugged at the same time, must be used in multi-engine fuel systems? 2. Integral fuel tanks on transport aircraft are supported by the aircraft structure. Fuel jettisoning past the limits prescribed by federal aviation regulations is usually prevented by dump limit valves or a low-level circuit. A fuel pressure relief valve is required on an aircraft. Positive displacement fuel pump. Many fuel tanks incorporate blank valves to prevent fuel from flowing away from the boost pump or tank outlet when the aircraft is in a high G maneuver. Flapper. Why are centrifugal-type boost pumps used in fuel systems of aircraft operating at high altitudes? To supply fuel under pressure to engine-driven pumps. Before fueling an aircraft by using the pressure fueling method, what important precautions should be observed? The truck pump pressure must be correct for that refueling system. The primary purpose of an aircraft's fuel jettison system is to quickly achieve a lower landing weight. Normal fuel crossfeed system operation in multi-engine aircraft provides a means to maintain a balanced fuel load condition. Fuel system components must be bonded and grounded in order to drain off static charges. Fuel heaters are used with fuel systems for turbine engines to prevent blank in the fuel from clogging system filters. Ice crystals. Refer to Figure 17. What is the purpose of the pump crossfeed valve? Allow operation of engines from one tank. Why are integral fuel tanks used in many large aircraft? To reduce weight. Fuel jettisoning is usually accomplished through a common manifold and outlet in each wing. A fuel jettison system is required under certain conditions if the maximum takeoff weight exceeds the maximum landing weight. What regulations cover the requirements of fuel jettisoning? 14 CFR Parts 23 and 25 and CAM 4B. According to Part 23, the minimum required markings must be placed at or near each appropriate fuel filler cover for reciprocating engine-powered airplanes. The word avgas in the minimum fuel grade. Flapper valves are used in fuel tanks to act as check valves. If it is necessary to enter an aircraft's fuel tank, which procedure should be avoided? Conduct the defueling and tank purging operation in an air-conditioned building. What is one disadvantage of using aromatic aviation fuels? Deteriorates rubber parts. Which of the following tests can determine an aviation gasoline's tendency to vapor lock? Read vapor pressure test. Number 1. A fuel heater can use engine bleed air as a source of heat. Number 2. A fuel heater can use engine lubricating oil as a source of heat. Regarding the above statements, both number 1 and number 2 are true. What is the dielectric, non-conducting material in a capacitance-type fuel quantity indicating system? Fuel and air in the tank. An aircraft's integral fuel tank is a part of the aircraft structure. The use of turbine fuels in aircraft has resulted in some problems not normally associated with aviation gasolines. One of these problems is microbial contaminants. One advantage of electrical and electronic fuel quantity indicating systems is that several fuel tank levels can be read on one indicator. Which of the following is necessary to effectively troubleshoot a fuel pressure warning system? The manufacturer's maintenance manuals.